guys? Doc here, and we're gonna do another episode of or a little helping for new people on EVE Online. So in my very low knowledge of EVE Online, I have come to know a couple things that will help new players out. So let's talk about this opportunity map, especially these are new. If you're a new Omega or Alpha player, this is probably something you're trying to complete. So today we want to talk about going through wormholes. Now to a new player, this is going to seem very, if you've read anything about wormhole space on EVE Online, you're going to think, good God, I don't want to do this. This sounds terrifying. It's actually not as bad as you think, and you can, if you follow my couple rules here about going through wormholes, you're going to be fine. Again, don't ever take anything out in space in EVE that you're not willing to lose. So that's always a caveat to playing EVE Online. You just have to be willing to lose it. Don't get all worked up and tied to it. You know, mine, get yourself some ISK, play the combat sites, get some money behind you, and then so you don't have to worry about things. But we're gonna take this this ship out here that I have. This is, of course, everybody gets one of these when you first get the game if you go through the initial agent missions. And you might get a couple of them, I don't know. This is a Venture. It's a very good, versatile ship. I use one of these. I have a couple of locations that I have basically small bases at, I guess you'd say. And I use these for several different things. So today we're going to go through wormhole space with one of these bad boys. And I'm going to show. I use it to mine, like I showed you in the last episode. So we're going to get rid of this right here. Let's see. Inventory. Here we go. Looking like a noob here. Alright, we're going to take that off. We don't need that anymore. So on this opportunities map, today we're going to concentrate on through the wormhole. And if you guys want me to, I can go. I've thought about this several times. I would be willing to create an alpha character and go through these and make a video for each one, if that's something you guys want to see. So let me know in the comment section below. And we'll see about if we get enough comments, enough likes, people want to do that, that's something that we will do. So we're going to go through the wormhole today. I'm going to take you out, show you how to find and scan down a wormhole and go through it. I'm going to show you a couple things about wormholes that you need to know before you go through one. So we're going to do it on this ship. One of the first things I'd recommend you do is get yourself a Core Probe Launcher. And then get yourself 8 core scanners. I think you get that anyways in the beginning of the game for free. I think either they make you buy it or they give it to you. Anyways, get yourself one of those. And then the next thing you want to do is learn cloaking. If you're gonna go to do wormhole space, I highly recommend you learn cloaking. It doesn't take that long. It's worth every freaking ounce of the training to do this, and you can use it later on. One thing with cloaking that we'll talk about is that you see how on this prototype cloaking device 1, it reduces your speed while cloaked 90%. So you're going to crawl. Now that's not true for all cloaking devices, but for the one we have fitted to the ship, that's what it does. I will show you a couple other cloaking devices here. Let's see. Improved cloaking device 2. Let's look at the info. Basically, that's the upgrade to that, the Tech 2 version. So, in this, it allows for faster movement. So let's see the difference here. So this, well, what the piss over. Okay, so that one is 75% reduction. So not much, but a little bit of difference. So, but we're going to go with the 90% because that's probably what most people are going to be able to afford right off the bat. Of course, I'm going to leave this on the scope survey scanner. The rigs I have are these small gravity upgrades, capacitor upgrades. That helps with scanning. You're more than welcome to get those. They're cheap rigs. Now, thing with rigs you got to remember is once they're on, they're on. If you take them off, they get destroyed. You don't ever get your money back or anything like that. This ship has 2 drones in it. I've got a Hobgoblin 2 and a Hornet 2. We don't really need them, but I take them with me just for in case. So, we've got the Venture here. I want to show you one other thing though before we take off, and that is another ship that you can work towards, and that is this ship here, the Prospect. Now what I do in wormhole space is I usually go out, help corps look for other corps hiding in wormhole space, and we can talk about that in another episode or another video. And I use this for gas harvesting. This has a 5% reduction in gas cloud harvesting duration and 100% bonus to mining and gas cloud harvesting yield. So if you use this ship and you only have one gas harvester on it, it's like having two, and if you have two on it, it's like having four. It just doubles up. It has a 100% reduction in cloaking device, and it can fit the covert ops cloaking device. Now the covert ops version is like the ultimate of the ultimates in cloaking devices. It is, you can warp cloaked, you can travel at 100% velocity cloaked up, which is real nice. The only thing you can't use with the covert ops cloaking device is you can't turn your afterburner or micro warp drive on. So, and I'm not sure if there's ways around that in big and you know higher tier level ships than I am currently in right now, but that is my limited knowledge of that as of right now. So, but these are good tips for new players. So we're gonna take this out, and we will get started. And I'll be back in just a second. Okay, guys, we're out in space. What we need to do is, like I always say, is I have my D-scan up always. I have my probe scanner window open here. So we've jumped to a new system. So what we're gonna do is what I recommend, is we're gonna jump to what I would call a safe spot. So I already have one here, but another easy way to do that, and I'll show you real quick, is to pick a planet, warp to it within 100 kilometers. As soon as you start your warp, go up here to people and places, and once you start your warp and you're in the middle of nowhere, click add location. It'll do that, and it's basically that where you were at that second when you click that button is now a spot in the middle of nowhere out there. So now what we'll do is once we stop, we will warp back over to that spot that we just did. And it, like how you find that is shortcuts to it is you right click out in space, and these are your personal locations. So what it saved it as was a spot in this solar system. So we're gonna warp there, and then we'll get started. So what we're looking for in Wormhole, how to find wormholes, is you use the probe scanners, but they're under cosmic signatures is what they're under. Now this system may or may not have a wormhole. We will see. We won't know until we get it scanned down a little further. It's also important if you're going to go to wormholes that you have your scanning skills trained up a little bit. My base sensor strength in this ship is 60 points right now, which isn't too bad, but it isn't great either. Other ships I have, it's over 80. So, but this for a newbie ship that you get for free, this is a good way to start on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to launch my probe scanners here, and we're gonna get set up. And then I'm gonna cloak. I'm gonna cloak up so that nobody can see me, nobody can jump on me while I'm not looking around. We're gonna open this up, and that cosmic signature is this red ring right here with the X in it. So what I like to do is I like to put them in a pinpoint formation, and I've gone over this in my other videos about probing and scanners. I'll take it and put, you want to put that box in that X in the middle of your box. So let's see here. I can zoom in a little bit. I can fool with this. We'll try to get as precise as we can. And based on your skills, this is starting at 4 AU. I'm going to back out and do 8 AUs to start. And that'll give me a wider range. We'll hit analyze here, and we'll see what comes up. Now this takes time. You got to be patient. You want to watch what's going on around you over here on your overview. Make sure nobody's trying to jump in and kick your ass. Alright, so it's now a circle, which means it's starting to hone in. I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to move my square over that circle. Square takes circle. Let's see. Nobody probably remembers what that show is. Alrighty. So let's get a little bit more precise. Everybody has their own way of doing this. This is the way I do it. If you have a better way or find your own method works better, by all means. We'll move in to 4 AUs. Click that analyze button and we'll see what comes up. Hopefully within 3 tries here we find out if this is a wormhole or not. It might be a combat site, it might be a relic site, a data site, and so on and so forth. It's a wormhole, so there we go. So now we know it's a wormhole. So I'm going to get real detailed here. I want to find it quick. So within 2 scans we knew it was a wormhole, which is really nice. I'll move this in. Get in a little bit closer here. Zoom back out. Here we go. So now that we know it's a wormhole, I'm going to go ahead and go down to 1 AU. See if that helps us. Now that could, based on your skills, you may or may not be able to do that. I went from 4 AUs to 1 AU, hopefully to find it quicker, but we'll see. It's at 33% signal right now. There we go. It's an unstable wormhole, and of course it moved, so we got to reposition here. It's green now, which means we're really close. I'm going to zoom in all the way. Get right up on it. Now I know to other players that have played EVE for a long time this might seem repetitive, but it's always good to go over basics in EVE just to keep your skills honed. Alrighty. So I'm going to take this down to as close as it can get, which is 0.25 AUs for me. Some people it might be more, some people it be less. But we're going to click Analyze. It's going to take us, give us the check mark here, the arrows. In just a second, we're going to go right there. Alright, so we got the Warp 2 button. I'm going to pop out of this screen. I'm going to come uncloaked, recover my active probes. So, and another thing with these cloaking devices that I failed to mention earlier is based on which cloaking device you have, sometimes it takes the better off cloaking device you have, the quicker this will become active to be ready again. You see this gray marking around it right now that's ticking down. That's the soonest I can use it again. Alright, so I'm going to reload my probe scanner. It is of vital importance that when, in my opinion, that if you go to a wormhole, you yourself needs to have a probe scanner, and I'll tell you why once we get inside this wormhole. So we're going to warp to the wormhole. We're going to check out a few stats on the wormhole before we jump into it. We want to also look around once we get there. We want to make sure that nobody's sitting on it, because it's like a gate. You go into wormhole space. It's a gate into wormholes. So let's see. So there it is. There's the wormhole. It doesn't look like anybody is around it. So I'm going to cloak up while I talk here. Wormhole space can be, like I said, very dangerous. It can be used to, so if this wormhole, if I had explored it already and knew that there was another wormhole gate inside of it that led to another system, like 80 jumps away or 60 jumps away, there'll be a quick way to get there between these 2 wormholes. Now you gotta remember, wormholes don't last forever. These gates don't. The stuff inside of them do, but the gates change places. Like they'll be in a different system once this one collapses. So let's look at it. We're gonna look at, this is always what you want to do. You want to look at show info. This is an unstable wormhole and deep in space. This wormhole seems to lead into unknown parts of space, and all this will tell you. This basically means it probably leads into wormhole space. Some wormhole gates can lead to high sec, low sec, and null sec. So this wormhole is reaching the end of its natural lifetime, so there's not much time left. And not a lot of ships have passed through it. Larger ships can pass through this wormhole. Different wormholes can have different, limitations of what type of ships can jump through them. This one, large ships can pass through it. If you Google wormhole K162, more than likely there is a chart on this wormhole that you can see things that have gone through it, where other people may have found other gates inside of it. So let's jump through this wormhole. So that's how you do that, is you let's see, enter wormhole. Oh, I don't know what I'm thinking about. So we're gonna enter it, and as soon as you get in a wormhole, you want to bookmark where you came in at immediately, and I'll show you how to do that. It's part of this training, this opportunities map that they make you do as part of the deal. You will only forget to do that once if you get in a wormhole and forget to do it. So you want to bookmark it immediately, because what can happen is if you don't, you may have to spend an hour or so looking through all the shit with a probe scanner to find your way back out of there. Come on, let's go. Let's get in this wormhole. So it asks you if you want to go in. Yes, there's no Concord in there at all. We want to get in there. Alright, so immediately what we want to do here is we're inside the wormhole. There's lots of stuff in here to see and check out. So let's see. Again, we want to save location. Wormhole exit, and I like to put the day behind it, so today is 12/8. Submit, because sometimes you go in these wormholes and that's what's in, you've been in here before, it's just in a different spot. So immediately there's nothing on the scanners. I usually change down to 5, see if anything's close to me. There's nothing here, doesn't look like it. There are ships though that are undetectable to descan, so you have to be mindful of that. We are cloaked up automatically because we entered through here. So these are the things that are in here. There's all kinds of fortified combat sites. There's an ore site. Goodness, there's all kinds of fun shit. And then of course there's cosmic signatures. These of course might be other combat sites. They might be gases sites. Alright, let's go ahead and cloak. We're gonna go ahead and cloak back up. Because we're sitting by this gate, and this is kind of an idiotic thing to do. Immediately once you get into a wormhole, you want to bookmark it and leave. So that's what we'll do. We'll go to a planet. We'll warp off within 100 kilometers. Oh, can't do it while we're cloaked. Alright, let's discuss these other cosmic signatures. These other cosmic signatures, like I said, could be gas sites, ore sites, combat sites, data and relic sites, and other wormhole exits. Basically, guys, that's the gist of wormhole space. You can go to your safe place, make a safe place here in the wormhole, and just be mindful though. Remember that said this gate is going to decay soon. So usually I take that as like 12 to 1 hour. So I usually try not to spend more than an hour in a wormhole, especially if I'm not going to be there or try to do something important there. So we're going to go ahead and jump back through. And if you guys have any questions about wormhole space, feel free to put in the comment section. I will be glad to answer them to my knowledge. If I don't know an answer, I will ask somebody that's more knowledgeable or get you a better one. So we're back out of the wormhole. There it is. And it has a timer on it now saying that it's polarized, so I can't go back in it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. My recommendation, guys, is to always take a probe scanner and probes with you if you're going to go to wormhole space. That way, if that gate collapses behind you, or if you're in there and it disappears, you have a way to find another one, a way out. If not, you're just stuck there unless you destroy your ship and die. Anyways, if there's any questions, guys, feel free to comment in the section below. Like or dislike this video, and subscribe. Make sure you follow Kill Cobra Studios, myself, on Twitter, Instagram. Go over to Facebook and like our Facebook page for Kill Cobra Studios. It helps us keep relevant content bringing to you for free. If you like this video and if you want us to do any more of these opportunity ones, tell us that you want it, and we'll get it done for you. Anyways, I'm Doc Holiday, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later!